Golly.
We are live, but do we have audio?
Do you want me to check?
Because it's not moving.
We have audio.
Okay. It's just the mic is not showing any activity.
Ooh, it's warm in here.
It's not that warm.
It is warm in here.
Well, then take off your coat.
No.
No wonder you're warm.
This is thin. See?
Fine, let me turn this screen on.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And Happy New Year!
I am Akashi no Kami from the Toku Animation News Network, here with
Cruellica Kain.
and we are here to talk about Kuon's worst nightmare ever, video editing, and how everything in Gozyuger seems to happen off screen. Because that's all that's been happening as of late.
Except yesterday's episode was freaking awesome, just for one thing.
Yeah, but that's after half the episode of garbage.
I actually liked Origami Red.
I'm not thinking about Origami Red. I'm thinking about we'll get into it when we get to the episode. But we are here to talk about Gozyuger episodes 43, 44, and the summer movie. All I know right now is I'm just thinking Gozyuger is number one in being the worst Sentai show.
And you're wearing Power Rangers.
Yes.
Well, fitting. But, okay. So, we have episode...
Well, first, we had, leading up to this, we had Sumino be changed. We've had Ribbon died because off screen she apparently met Sumino, or not, but Ribbon died. Bouquet then went crazy for a little bit, got healed by Rikyo, and we had Goody Byrne got kidnapped by Tega June, who put him through a Clockwork Orange-like scenario of him being tied down in a movie theater to watch movies, or, well, technically it was like story time.
Of a time long ago.
And then Kuon took Tega June into his body, forcing her to be merged with him so they can be one being. And we had Kuon pulling his best Zordon impersonation, or here's Johnny, where his head was looking through the door, and he comes out, he has like this white streak of hair.
So, really long streak of hair.
So now we finally have the rest of this arc, which we had Kuon, yes, has taken over Tega June, and now leads Brydon to this big battle that kind of amounted to nothing. Because...
yeah, it really did.
I don't really know how to describe it. It was just... Kuon was putting on these creepy vibes the entire episode. And...
well, you also saw you saw in, like, memories, so to speak.
When they were making a wish.
Like, right around the time about when they would disappear, the brothers were together, Oeru and Hiramitsu, I think his real name is, or Hisamitsu. But Kuon, they were doing the Japanese tradition of putting wishes on a card of some sort. These were stars specifically, so that you would hang them up at the different shrines to try to get your wishes granted. Kuon's was a stack of always being able to pass basically all of them were saying the same thing, that he passed all of his exams because being that he was significantly older, he was hoping to graduate, get into the top school to meet his dreams, because a lot of the flashbacks that you got, and even the side when you had one of the episodes, is that he's really smart and he's actually quite successful because he owns his own company. So you see all of that going on. And then
Yeah,
and then Hoeru's wish was for them to still be great brothers. So his was more emotional, Kuon's was more practical, you could say, which is fitting for how their characters are to be presented in the show.
But yeah, so we have this battle, and Kuon seemed weaker, despite now being merged with Tegajun. Like,
well, yeah,
he got his ass handed to him so easily. But then, so we have, what was it? A mech battle appeared.
mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting why there was. Oh, who was it that brought out the mech? Was it Fire Candle?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, it had to be Fire Candle
because Bouquet was with.
She was well. The episode starts. Bouquet's unconscious.
Mm-hmm. And she's in Tegasword's world because Rikyo asked if she could stay there while she's healing.
Yeah, so she's unconscious. I'm just pointing that out because I'll get to a point momentarily. Well, then, so Fire Candle brings out a mech. They Goody Burn and Tegasword come out. Well, was it Rikyo who came out with who is the mech or
I think so because he was with Ryuji because they were both there because they were talking about Christmas, and one of the things is Rikyo asked if she could stay there and made it like a Christmas wish type of thing.
Well, so they get the mechs out, and suddenly Tegajun is in the middle of the mech battle, which I'm like,
I didn't remember. I don't remember seeing any reason how they separated.
Yeah,
because he transformed.
I looked at it again, and I didn't see how they split, or I'm like, I must be missing something here because she was suddenly in the battle for the mechs when she was supposed to be merged with Kuon. There's a disconnect there. I went back, and maybe I went back too far or too soon. I don't know, but I was still lost on that scene of how she was in the mech battle. But, so they have this mech battle, and Goody Burn had apparently made Tegajun a scarf for his mother for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So she has this really large scarf on, and she's like, I'm going to be good now. So, and she was originally going to just go and disappear, but they pulled her and brought her to their home.
Yes.
To heal and to reflect and everything.
Well, because after he absorbed her at the beginning of the episode, Kuon is telling everybody how he's the boss. And they're like, well, you're not the boss of us. Only Tegajun is. And he opens up like something in his chest, and you see her, and she's like, you have to listen.
Yeah, it was very confusing. And then,
so the editing of this video, and I can't even claim that it was due to Sumino's actress being edited out, because these scenes had nothing to do with her. She was nowhere in sight.
Her and Kinjiro were fighting Cake Boss.
Yes.
But, and then, so Kuon's fighting Hoeru. Kuon, like, gets his ass beat, falls to the ground. They're just there, lying there, like, oh, and Kuon's having this whole, I hated you because you were always better than me at everything. And he is just so poorly acted. Oh my God. And I'm like, am I really supposed to be feeling some emotion here? Because this guy's acting is so bad. I'm just like, can we get through this scene already? And they have like a final hit, and Kuon basically disintegrates.
Yes.
And
like a no one would.
Yeah, and well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there is one other thing that brings me to when we get to episode 44 with what Fire Candle says.
Mm-hmm.
But, so Fire Candle just leaves pissed because he doesn't know, everyone's just basically betrayed him.
Well,
and,
yeah.
Well, and then suddenly, we go into the Tegasword world, and Rakuo and Bouquet are there because apparently Bouquet woke up at some point off screen.
Well, yeah.
So it was like, okay, she woke up. That would have been important to have seen on screen. And then it's like Christmas Day or right before Christmas, and they're opening shop, and all of a sudden a sword, which looks like a repainted wolf caliber, comes in with Kuon's voice, and take a sword's like, yeah, Merry Christmas. I put Kuon's soul into a sword so you can still be together. What?
Well, that made no sense.
Okay, isn't this something that should have been done again?
And Sumino's actress was not there.
On screen?
Well, and Sumino wasn't on screen because she went to go celebrate with her sister.
But isn't her sister unconscious still? I am so lost on what is going on. I feel like this show's entire plot and development has been done off screen.
Well, because...
Which will lead into some stuff that goes on in episode 44.
Well, one of the challenges that I'm seeing with this particular series right now is...
Toei gave up. They just don't care anymore. They're like, we've got Project Red on the horizon. We don't care about this series.
Well, not only that, but I kind of feel as though with all the controversy that happened, with all the editing that they had to do, and whatever this editing may include, it became very problematic because you don't know as a viewer now if the way the episodes are edited is due to whatever they had to do because of Sumino, or if the poor editing was always there. Because while there were some suspicious editing things that happened earlier in the series, nothing like what we're getting to this latter half of the series.
This has been the most haphazardly written story arc in almost the entire franchise.
Well,
like, this is worse than This is Gozyuger. This is worse than Ryu Soldier's half-assed aspects.
Well, and the challenges that I'm having with it are the fact that I feel as though everything is stalled out.
It's like, at least with...
like all goodwill. And I am not going to chastise once again. My intent is never to chastise those that like the show or enjoy it. Because at the end of the day...
No, that's my job.
Well, sure, that's your job. But at the end of the day, that's their right. I like some crap things. And I own it. But at the same time, to me, as an avid viewer, as somebody who has watched a lot of Super Sentai, the good, bad, and the ugly, and has consumed a lot of media, one of the things that really is problematic to me is that, if nothing else, if they were going to make this a mess with the poor editing job, that truthfully you do a better job at, and you're an amateur comparatively,
yeah,
it's quite disturbing. I almost feel it would have been better off for them to have just found a way to cut and run. Just find a way to cancel the show. Even if it were to be unfinished, and just release the rest of the show on disc. Now, looking at from a business perspective, and there's parts of me that want to re-record my first Tokunomics episode, but I'm going to let it be what it is. Is from a business perspective, they had two options that they could have taken outside of cutting and editing. First, I've already mentioned, they could have cut the show, put the rest on streaming, or release the rest on disc, just to at least...
And fill in the gaps with like a history of Sentai.
Yes.
Special series. I mean, they're great at creating clip shows on the fly, so this would have been easy clip show money.
The other thing that would have been less problematic as well, and I know there's been debates on this. We've even had debates in the chat with this as well in prior videos, is they could have just left it as is. Maya terminated, but she was paid already for everything she filmed. It's not like Super Sentai gets, that actors get royalties. Being that this is a newbie show, I doubt most of the newbie actors get royalties. The only ones who would get royalties are probably people who have been there a long time, if they got royalties. That's not something I know for a fact, but I would say they could have just left it as is. She was terminated. Yes, she appeared on the rest of the series. There could be objectionable things. TV Asahi wasn't terminating her. Her agency did. So TV Asahi and others could have found ways to just take her off the market.
I'm sure there were loopholes they could have gone through.
I'm not going to decry that point. But I would say
these episodes,
there were options that they could have looked at to resolve an issue versus what they did. Because in episode 43, we actually see Maya.
No, that's episode 44.
44,
which we'll get into when we get to that.
Yes, but we see flaws with their editing already. Well, even more so. But overall, this episode was a mess because of the fact that there was no clear-cut resolution for a series-long story arc.
They had no idea what to do with Kuon.
I did not feel that was fulfilling. And this is coming from the franchise that hired an actor because he did so good during an interview that they found a way to make him appear in the show. And I feel like they did a better job with Stacy in Zenkaiger when they had nothing written for him. They solely hired him because he was such a good audition for the main character, but he wasn't chosen, but they still wanted to give him a part.
Yeah, it was funny because before these last several episodes, I was like, yeah, I'll still take Gozyuger over Zenkaiger. Now I'm like, you know what? I like Zenkaiger way more than Gozyuger.
Oh, I would never take Gozyuger over Zenkaiger, even at the beginning.
I like Zenkaiger way more than Gozyuger.
Oh, I've always liked Zenkaiger
more
than Gozyuger.
These last 4 episodes, 40, 41, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, should have been a 10-parter.
5 episodes, yes.
Yeah.
Because you're counting today's episode with it, or no?
40, 41, 42, 43. Oh, yeah, 4 episodes.
Well,
I didn't mean,
counted 5,
I wasn't. I didn't mean 45.
Oh, okay.
40 to 43 should have been a 10-part arc because there was so much crap going on in this arc. It needed more episodes to fully digest.
It needed to tell a story a little bit better.
This whole arc was completely uncooked. They rushed it out. Because the problem is, I think, they wanted it out to be the Christmas endgame story. Mm-hmm. Because that's how Sentai works. The formula is there has to be a Christmas endgame story so that the remaining episodes can kick off the grand finale.
Yeah, the final.
So this entire arc was a rushed mess. It should have been 10 episodes because the whole thing just...
So this is where I'm going to blame 3 parties.
And Kuon. What? I don't even know. I'm just like, what were they doing with him? What was his entire purpose? Like, what was the point of him owning an AI company when that didn't even play into his last moments with Tega June and stuff? I thought maybe they were going to play into that he uses the AI company to hack into Tega June to take her over, but no, that him owning a company is absolutely pointless.
So this is where I know it's probably going to piss people off again, but this is where I have 3 villains. First villain of this is Akiko Inoue. Second villain is the director. The third villain is production. Because production, at the end of the day, for any film or TV show, production has these milestones that any series or film must commit to. This is an expectation that you're going to have, let's say for a normal movie, you're going to have a 3-act arc. You're going to have first act was an introduction. Second act is going to be the story build up, the tension, the development. And then the third act is the grand resolution, be it the final battle, be it whatever it could be. You have a 3-act rotation. Now, when it comes to television shows, you're going to have that in one episode. But depending on how that television show goes, you're going to have it where the introduction phase is going to be for any new characters. And sometimes the introduction phase can flow through the episode, but you need to have those 3-act elements. The problem here is there hasn't been many new characters introduced, which is a good thing, because at this point in the series, you don't need a ton of new characters. But where you're not introducing new characters, this is where you use that first introduction type act to be a story development or a character development for it. And then you have the story, whatever the purpose of the episode may be. It could be building on a previous episode. It could be building on something 20 episodes prior, whatever that may be, and then the resolution. The challenge is the story that the head writer or the writing team, because I doubt it's solely one individual. If anything, it's probably a writer's room. Because even Doctor Who, even if you had one script writer, you still had other writers that would go in like a script editor to clean it up. You'd have different people working together. It didn't feel as though all parties involved in that, and I'm going to blame Akiko as the head writer, because unfortunately it is her responsibility at the end of the day.
She did write these 4 episodes.
Well, but as the head writer, she's also responsible for the script editors and everybody else who's involved. The director, at the same time, is kind of like a partial writer, because the director can say, okay, we're going to switch this around. We're going to do this with the editing or with the directing, with how the scene's going to go. This is what you're going to do. This is how we're going to interpret the writing for the script or the scene. And then we have production coming in afterwards, which could be editing for post-production and everything like that, to say this is how it's going to be cleaned up, so how it progresses. All of them have failed. And we can blame them canceling Sentai. We can blame them having to get rid of Maya. We can blame so many different things. But collectively, everybody together failed. And I am going to ride or die on that sentiment forever. I don't agree that it's because they don't give a shit anymore. I think it's that something else you said when we were taking a walk. Like at first I was not on board, but now I am, where they didn't put their A team together for the entire production of the show. That they took their heavy hitters, be it producers, directors, assistant directors, DOPs, everybody that's involved in the show, they probably put them to the side to work on Kamen Rider, to work on Gavon, to work on other things. Not to say that the director working on the show is a terrible director and anything like that. But there's some sort of failing that's going on right now, causing a lot of tension. And it's disappointing because we have this failure. Then we have the whole situation where they had to go in and back produce the show, back at it. So we don't even know the real episodes to know, is it actually the director's fault? Is it actually Akiko's fault? Like everything prior to episode 37, we could effectively have a target of who to put the blame on. But now, from 38 on forward, we can blame everybody, but we in reality, at the same time, to be duplicitous, have no idea if it's Akiko, director, or production's fault. Actually, no. I know whose fault it is. It is solely the production's fault. Because I doubt after Akiko has gotten paid, after the director has gotten paid for doing what they did, they've had any involvement. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be their fault. And I'll pull up the director in a minute, but it's still going to be Akiko's fault, even if she had no involvement with the editing, because of one simple thing. She is titled as the head writer. And as much as I just bitched about her, I also feel bad. Not to be duplicitous, not to be talking out of both sides of my mouth, but I feel bad because this is a stain on her record, even if she had no fucking control over any of it.
I don't know. I'm just...
But with that said, let's get to some of the comments.
Yes, since we've gotten... Before...
We have Kubernetes, who says evening, morning, whatever. So hello. Guten Tag, Guten Tag, whatever good morning or good evening is in German. Then we have Anthony Sarkis, hello Kaiju and Cruellica, and Axel Tovar. I think I officially lost all faith in the show, so hello, and I concur. Kubernetes says Gozyuger is not that bad, it's just brainless fun. So, and that's why I'm not chastising anyone for liking it, because if I took myself out of it, actually these last few episodes, I probably still wouldn't be able to do brainless fun, but I could see where the brainless fun element is. Kubernetes says Origami Red episode is also very fun. I actually, as much as you have complaints, I like the Origami Red episode, and I do have complaints, but I thought the introduction of Origami Red,
I will go over the stuff when we get to that episode.
Was really cool. I know. The cameo is also a pleasant surprise. We'll get through that for anybody who hasn't watched it. EA Games says hello. Then we have Star Wars Fan who says hello, Cruellica and Kaiju. Hello. And Priscilla M. Hello. And Mobilesi. What, did I miss it?
No, I'm just like, okay, how many different ways can I move my hands to say, yo, that's not the same thing over?
And Star Wars Fan says, since it's a new year, I deleted my Twitter account after 5.5 years. Honestly, with as toxic as Twitter is, it's never a bad thing to make that decision. I still have my social media accounts, but I will admit quite transparently, transparently, that I really don't do much on social media just because I don't like the toxicity. And I've come to the conclusion that if I could go back to the late 90s, early 2000s, prior to social media really existing outside of the complexities of MySpace, which admittedly I missed all of because I just didn't care, I probably would. I'd probably even give up my cell phone if I could. But there's elements.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that
I play my video games on my phone so I can get points, but beyond
so how would you get to Daytona Beach easily?
There are these fascinating things called paper maps.
Yeah.
But the problem is you would get us lost because I don't know if you can actually read a regular map.
I can read I played video games where I had to use maps.
Okay.
But I don't like paper maps because they're just annoying.
Like, the A game. Oh, moving on. The A Games honestly feels like this should have been the original finale, not episode 43. It has all the aspects of the finale to me, other than the helmetless roll call. Then Kubernetes says they haven't even wrapped up the number one Sentai gimmick. I kind of feel like, to be fair, they've lost the plot on that.
It all happened off screen.
Like, there's an element for me of, I don't drink anymore. I don't do anything bad except for buy random things I probably don't need, like tons of manga books.
Oh boy.
But I can honestly say I would probably have a better time drunk.
I'm sorry, what plot was he talking about?
Well, Star Wars fan then set the number one Sentai gimmick. But moving on.
Yeah, what plot are you talking about? I don't know about this number one Sentai plot.
Okay, moving on from your dorkiness. Star Wars fan says a betrayal that felt late, as we have around 5 episodes left of the franchise. And that's a fair sentiment. For anyone who feels that Gozyuger is great and it's brainless fun, love it. Anyone who has wiped their hands of Gozyuger, that's fair.
Oh.
Anyone who feels that this is a betrayal or a slap in the face of all the years that you have enjoyed Super Sentai, that is also fair. I am one of those that I have experienced a lot of series where they have ended with a whimper versus a big bang. So in all of my life, I'm used to it. My first big disappointment with an end of a series was admittedly Roseanne, where she believed everything was a dream, or that she was an author and she wrote it that way. And Full House, Family Ties, so many shows ended with a whimper than a big bang. But there were a lot of shows.
No, I will say Gozyuger is the equivalent to Game of Thrones season 8.
Well, I was going to say Game of Thrones. That was a slap in the face for everything we watched.
Gozyuger is Game of Thrones season 8.
Dexter was a slap in the face in a way for people. There was a lot of people disappointed with the ending. As much as people.
I never watched it, so.
Lucifer, the first time when it was canceled, was a slap in the face. Like, this is what we're going to end with. So I understand so many times when that happens that sometimes you have to take your mind out of it. Like Scrubs, mindless fun. Love that show.
I'm just thinking of the countless anime series where you got to the end and you're like, that's it?
Oh, Evangelion for me. I know you love the ending for Evangelion.
No. The movie ending?
Not Evangelion. I'm sorry. Escaflowne.
Of course they weren't going to get together. They were from 2 different worlds.
The ending of Escaflowne. You love the ending.
Because it's conclusive.
Evangelion was a slap in the face ending for me.
Yes.
Because if you have a fucking episode that ends the series with congratulations.
Well, Big O, the ending to that kind of is not the greatest.
Cowboy Bebop was like
one of the best.
Chef's kiss. But we digress. I can understand
Gilgamesh, that one, the ending sucked.
I can understand how anyone can feel about any ending or any series the way it is. I do like Miguel Abela. Hello, Miguel. Say whatever you want about episode 44. To me, it's great, and I love seeing the OG Ninja Red actor.
Well, we haven't gotten there.
We haven't gotten there, but yes, we are going to get there because episode 44, I was like, I loved. But I have comments I want to say on that. Box Knight says hello. The A Game says this plot for Gozyuger is just dead to me, especially when you get to episode 44. And there's one point of that episode that got me and many others laughing a bit. Cooper Date says modern shows bring cameos back. I agree. Sky to High.
Let me see.
Yonder.
Yep.
Over under, I think.
I just lost. It went back to the
Yeah. You
top
want me
of
to
the
find
chat. Let's see. Was it after Kamen Rider 64 or before?
It was before.
Okay, there is Box Knight's comment. Sky to High Yonder 595.
Yes.
But whatever happened to Tega June now? Is she not evil anymore? Is the Calamity coming back? Well, we'll get into that with episode 44.
But those are legitimate questions because I'm like, is Tega June now a mom?
Let's see, Carbonete. It's a Christian episode. Forgive your enemies. Very lazy, but very on point with Christian theology. Easily, also
unless you think of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Eerily Confucian. Forgive your rapist for the sake of your rape baby.
I was raised Roman Catholic, and thankfully Catholics are not that stupid, but then we have priests. So it's hard to justify, but Protestants are weird.
Kamen Rider 64 says hello.
Hello!
I'm guessing the AI company is either defunct and has a new boss now that, wait, the company doesn't know Kuon's dead technically. Huh.
Well, that's what makes no sense. That's what it's like,
I don't hate Fuyuno Mio. I think he does an excellent job portraying Tono Hoeru. This is a clear case of the character he plays is uninteresting by design, not because he can't act.
Oh, no, Hoeru!
He's improved a lot.
He has improved a lot. Like, I don't know if it's direction from his agency. I don't know if it's direction from maybe other experienced actors, like Ryuji's actor who's been around a little bit more.
I do agree with Origami Red's comment that we'll get to towards Hoeru. It's simple, like they want to get out the last remaining episodes as fast as they can so they can give full attention on the new Ga-Van series.
Yes.
I got the Arrow Video Turtle set for Christmas.
Yay!
I also liked your unboxing. I hope you enjoyed watching it. We still have to watch the bonus features and all that.
Well, I hope you liked watching Turtles 1 and 2. Turtles 3 is dumb fun. It's a bad movie, but it's dumb fun. Oh, it's a bad movie. I had to go watch that in theaters, and trust me, my disappointment was palpable.
I watched it in theaters, and then I watched it once on VHS, and I never watched it again until we just watched the 4K.
But 1 and 2 are awesome. I don't care what you say, because you have to like that movie because it has David Warner.
Let's see. What was I looking at?
Well, we got the Christmas. Anybody else, if you got really cool Christmas presents, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, you celebrate Hanukkah or anything else. Truthfully, I'm Wiccan, so I celebrate Christmas as an FU because it's technically a pagan holiday. But if you got any cool presents from family or friends, definitely share them in the chat.
I just celebrate Christmas because I've always celebrated Christmas.
Which is funny because your mom is a super atheist. Like, she's not just an atheist. She is a superhero level
Christmas
atheist.
Isn't about religion.
I know. That's how your family always.
I just want to see Retsu and Geki in the new Ga-Van.
Oh, that would be awesome.
There will be an Oba cameo at some point. I know it.
Well, there would have to be because he's still around. He's still acting. And honestly, when I saw Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Mess, when I saw Kenji Oba, I'm like, it's Kenji Oba! Because finally I had seen Ga-Van, so I understood, like, his excitement. When he saw Kenji Oba and Sonny Chiba, I could, like, at least participate in it.
Let's see, Thomas Proctor, I posted this in the previous video, but fun fact, you are in my top channels for YouTube recap.
Aww.
Don't let that pressure you for your plans for this new year.
He's already got enough pressure from me coming for New Year.
Yeah, Anthony Sarkis, episodes 42, 43 were badly rushed. Carbonete, I don't disagree that this writing is bad in some episodes. It's even worse. Gozyuger just has the fun factor to carry it through. Hey, Cruellica, this question is for you. Who's worse, Alec Baldwin or Vic?
Oh God, that's a toss-up between.
I would go with Vic any day.
No, I would go. Okay, the reason why it's a toss-up is because I actually think they're both terrible people. I would go with Vic only because I think sexual assault any day of the week, SAing someone, even if it's unconvicted, just having those allegations is disgusting. But the challenge I have with Alec Baldwin is he has never said anything that made me feel like he holds himself responsible in a way.
Does he need to straight up say it? It could be something he just doesn't feel comfortable saying publicly.
Well, there is that. But he also is an asshole to customers and employees on planes and other in restaurants and things like that. He's been a notable asset.
I didn't know about that.
Oh, God. He actually was recorded telling off a flight attendant. I think it was on a Delta airline. He just went off on her, and another passenger recorded it, and he did like that whole subtle like, I'm so sorry, but no, he was a complete dick. But saying is much worse and trumps just being a general asshole to me.
If I'm to elaborate, the number one Sentai gimmick is them needing to get all the I know.
No, he knew what it meant. He was just because episode 44 to him, when we get there, was like a slap in the face. Yes.
Betrayal of the entire series. Like, what was the freaking point?
Of episode 1?
Episodes 1, 2, and 3. What was the point? So to me, it just seems like the incompetence is just dumb. This was also Cabernete. Pussyfooting around. Yes. Little Inoue is still in her Agito phase. She has yet to hit Pfizer Jetman.
Fair.
But Agito was a masterpiece. So I don't know if I could agree with that comparison.
See, the sad part is I call her Inoue Jr. And the one time I did to him, he's like, are you talking about Toshiki? I was like, no, because his dad doesn't go by Inoue.
From what I heard, the Stranger Things finale is getting trashed on.
Oh, God, I heard that too.
I've seen both ways.
I've heard it's getting trashed on.
The Evangelion Congratulations ending makes me think of Yoshihiko parody, I Don't Get It.
Oh,
Gosh, I hope Gozyuger doesn't get the Evangelion treatment.
Oh my God, if it got the Eva treatment.
Oh my, okay, here we go. It's going to end with...
we got the Eva treatment.
It's going to end with the Gozyugers will beat the Calamity, and all of a sudden, all the Red Rangers from every single series are going to show up. Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!
Did I seriously, by mentioning the Ava and then having who mention that in the comments?
That was Sky to High.
If Sky to High also mentions it, did we just put that into the universe where that's going to happen? Because if I get an Ava ending and then everything has to be retconned by subsequent movies of 1.1, 2.2, or whatever they're called, I will go crazy.
If Gozyuger ends with the third Impact inspired finale, that would be funny. Because if that's how Super Sentai ends, they should go all the way.
I don't know because what's his name? Creator of Eva. Hidekiano. I've forgiven him for Eva because he did a masterpiece called Shin Godzilla, and then did Shin Ultraman and Shin Kamen Rider.
That's not talking about Shin Kamen Rider.
Okay, well, Shin Godzilla was a masterpiece until we got -1, but still. It was like the first Godzilla movie. I was like, shit, I might actually like a Godzilla movie.
I thought you liked the 2 Kyoto films.
I did, but I didn't appreciate them until I actually watched Shin Godzilla. But I forgave him. So if I somehow have to curse his name because of Gozyuger, I will.
So we got Cabernete says, I would be It would be desperate, but it could be grand, yes. I only hope they won't fumble the fun factor until then. The A game says I ordered a micro SD card and a controller for my tablet and phone 2 days
Very
after
cool.
Christmas, and got them 2 days ago. Technically New Year's Day presents since I got them January 2nd. Lol.
Nice.
Anthony Sargas for Christmas. My sister got me the Euro Crypt of Christopher Lee Collection 2 box set.
Ooh, nice. That actually sounds awesome.
Mobilesi. Speaking of Kenji Oba, I wonder if he's going to reprise his role in the new Gavan series as a mentor or a guest appearance. I'm going to guess appearance.
I'm actually hoping a mentor. I actually think it would be cool. Just like, I actually kind of hope that Infinity is maybe his son. It makes me sad because the mother would be the bird lady, but
should Gavin and Infinity have conflicts between the Gavins or not really? I would say no, but they're probably going to have conflicts with each other. Technically, Gozyuger did Evangelion episode 15, correct? Yeah, that is true, because when Taegajun reset the world with the wedding, that was then, and the people were clapping during the wedding.
Oh shit!
But and they did fix it all off screen.
God damn you, Hidekiano!
I really wish Kuon stayed evil.
Yes!
Mr. Arrowverse says hello.
Hello!
Man, I think they're going to ruin Fire Candle. All right, so we are caught up in comics.
Oh, actually, I will say Fire Candle's acting in episode 44. I actually kind of felt like he quit the show in episode 40. All right, so episode 44, we do get Fire Candle being super pissed off and ragey because he felt betrayed. Now, some of the comments he made were justified, but I feel like his acting, because he's like top tier, like best actor with Ryuji, but I actually felt like he quit the show when he is like going all ragey. I was like, huh.
That was probably his worst scene. Okay, well, I have an issue with that. Okay,
with him quitting the show.
I like the aspect that if he feels that if all of them leave Brydon, the eyes will cease to exist,
and so will the no ones.
No.
Well, the no ones are gone.
That's what I'm saying. Taegajun said a few episodes ago when we had the no one, that the creation no one, that was the final no one, implying that no ones are gone after that. So I don't understand Fire Candle's comment about what's going to happen to the eyes and what's going to happen to the no ones. Well, the no ones are gone. Taegajun said there were no more.
But the eyes, the reason I say that is because you got the feeling throughout the entirety of the series that he was buds with them, especially during the murder mystery episode where he's mourning, when he had, I think it was Paul or somebody, when they went out drinking, and then his other friends where they hung out. Like, he actually legitimately cares about the eyes.
Yes.
So when he made that comment, I was like, okay, I can definitely agree where his perspective.
It makes sense for that if we all quit being evil, what's going to happen to these minions? But it was poorly acted. Oh my god! I don't know if that was a reshot scene or what, but yeah, he was.
Well, it was. I actually kind of feel it was a reshot scene because he looked a little different, but at the same time, I felt no matter what, I was like, dude, just quit the show. Dude is done. I know he's going to appear in the remainder of the series, but I was like, dude is just quit.
Yeah. I just, and again, the no one comment made no sense because, yeah, the no ones are done. They said that no ones are gone, that was the last one. The creation no one was it. What happened to the creation no one being the pilot for Taegajun?
Well, yeah, when she got eaten by Kuon.
Because
wouldn't the creation no one still be alive?
Well, that's what I'm confused on, because the creation no one is supposed to be her pilot, but then she was absorbed into Kuon, so none of it amounted to. Okay, anyway. So, I was originally going to say let's talk about the movie first, but we can talk about episode 44.
I want to get 44 out of
So,
the
44.
way. Only because
Where
44 was good, the movie sucked.
to freaking start with this episode?
Well, let me just start with Kuon. So I have siblings, but they're through marriage, and that's not to diminish their quality as siblings, because I love them. However, I didn't grow up in my formative years with siblings. My siblings came when I was already an adult. And so I never had that bond or relationship. So I don't know if having a sibling act a little cringy is kind of normal. But the way Kuon was trying to be very brotherly and very loving.
Kuon is so creepy.
Like, I don't get it as a singleton child. Like, I don't get it because most of my friends, they had their cringy moments of where they cared about each other, but I also have to say for Kuon, this was so out of character from even when they showed the False World episode, because he didn't seem to act like that either. Like, he was supportive, but he didn't appear cringy. You sometimes have to exit out of the comments and re-come in.
No. I'm trying to lock it for where we left off at.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of comments since we started. Okay.
But, so anybody who's a sibling, definitely share, because I know from your relationship with your brother, even when I saw you both significantly younger when we first started dating, you two seemed like you had a close relationship as kids, but never the overly emotional, loving relationship. But that makes sense at the same time, because your dad's like an introvert supreme, and your mom, she showed more love and emotion when we went out there in October than she did throughout the 25 years.
Anyway.
So I can only base this on friends, siblings. So if you had those cringy type friendships or relationships, I was like, that's like an anime level brother.
No, we kind of just tolerated each other because we had to.
You had to. Okay, that's even more depressing. So we had all of that going on. Then we had
So we have Origami Red appear.
Mm-hmm.
Who I do actually like that design.
And he was with, and he appeared when Hoeru was with Kinjiro.
Yes. So Origami Red appears, and he calls out. I loved his calling out of Hoeru. You're not charismatic. You're whatever the other things were, and I'm like, okay, that's hilarious, but. Then he goes and reveals he has the King Oja ring. Because apparently the dude from what I don't even remember the guy's name anymore, that
Susumu
that Boon Red played. Susumu just decided sometime between the last 42 episodes to give up the ring and gave it up off screen. Off screen. What was the point of that? Why not have just had him lose the ring earlier in the show? Maybe even give up the ring in episode 2 or 3 when he was last seen. No. Episode that he gave up the
lack
ring.
of leadership skills and charm.
In episode 3. He could have just given up the ring there. No, it had to be done off screen.
Oh, Susumi.
Because fuck that writing.
Yeah. And just so you know, if you read this from the plot from Ranger Wiki, I'm just going to read exactly what this says because it's actually kind of funny. Origami Red criticizes Hoeru for lacking in leadership skills and charm Red Rangers are known for, which I have some comments on that because not all Red Rangers have leadership skills and
Well, it wasn't charm; it was charisma.
charisma.
In our subs.
He shows Hoaru the King Oger Sentai ring and tells him that its original owner, Natsumi Susumi, gave the ring to him and decided to pursue his dream with inner strength. Susumi also asks for Origami Red to give the ring to Hoaru if he proves himself worthy to be Red Ranger. But because in his eyes Hoaru isn't qualified, Origami Red states his intention is to replace him. So we have his friend / coworker from the beginning of the series not reprise his role later in the series because that was one of the rings that was just sitting out there in the ether. And he meets Origami Red and decides, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. That I found to be so troubling, story perspective and writing perspective, that the character just decides off screen that he doesn't want to be involved anymore, that he's just going to do this through strength of will. When you get through the first little mini story at the beginning of the series, and that's not at all what he said. He said he was going to come back to fight him because he didn't feel that Hoaru was qualified. Because Hoaru has no wish.
Yeah, it's lazy writing at its finest.
Now, Origami Red, I want to talk about this because a young person created this costume.
Which I think, if you've watched the episode, there's these two brothers that are fighting with each other. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those kids
to see if
is the kid who drew Origami Red.
But I will say the one thing I loved about Origami Red is I actually first loved the design.
Yeah, I like the design.
Because I actually thought with how many times you have the origami placement. So you have the helmet, which is the origami crane, as acting as the visor. Then you have the origami crane on its back looking like wings. And you have, once again, the origami crane on his...
Can I just say that I kind of actually wish that's kind of how Kichino Brother would have looked in Dom Brothers instead of being the CGI version?
Well, I actually agree. Now, we're not going to go there. But I thought, one, without knowing how the kid drew the artwork, because I don't know if they showed the original artwork that the young person drew.
They did. I don't know where it's...
But I will say, for how they turned the artwork into reality, because I'm looking at pictures on my phone, I thought it was amazing. I thought I could see a whole Sentai series, like with Shinkenger, where you had the kanji be the helmets. I could see 5 Rangers or 6 having different origami as their visors on their suits. Like, I thought the recreation of this artwork, whatever it could look like, was fantastic. And overall, I don't know who did it.
That was the drawing.
Oh, very cool. Show it on the screen.
If it will show up.
Yeah, it's showing up. But from a young person's drawing to being a recreation, I thought it was phenomenal. And I really, really liked the design. I liked how the voice actor made him feel like an old school ranger, being very bombastic and very eager, but at the same time being a little hesitant as well. So overall, I thought it was really cool, and I actually appreciated it more.
The kid's name was Luca, and he was invited to watch the filming of the episode.
Oh, okay, so he wasn't in the episode.
Well, It doesn't say he wasn't. I'm just wondering. That's why I'm like, he was invited to watch the filming of the episode, so maybe they gave him the cameo to be in that episode.
Absolutely, they don't show all the regular actors in it, but like side actors. But I will say, I really liked it. I liked how he was even unsure of himself when he was trying to break up a fight between two kids.
Oh, I did like how Hoeru comes up acting all like
The villain.
And then Origami Red pushes him aside, and then he's all like poorly acted, mind you, but oh, you're too strong. I'll be back later.
But I like that. I like that because it gave Origami Red a moment to shine.
But no, I like the idea behind Origami Red. But the highlight for the episode
was okay. So let me just start off.
Oh, and we also forgot Bouquet is now working at.
Oh yeah, so she comes up to Sayori, and is it Aji, the son? I can't remember his name. Oh, Aoi, Aoi. Sayori is the mom.
Is that her name? Because
Yeah.
I've always just seen them say landlady.
It said here still. And then Aoi, because I heard his name in the episode, asking if Bouquet could work. And Ryuji and Rikyo both ask if it's okay. Sayori says, I have no problem. Do you? To her son. And Aoi's like, well, at least she's good looking.
Oh, she's cute as well.
She's cute. And then Sayori goes over to Bouquet and she's like, are you Yukio's girlfriend? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh my God. So obviously it will happen, but obviously I don't think it'll happen in the confines of the show. But I thought that was cute. And then they leave, and the rest of the cast is there.
Except Sumino.
Oh,
Sumino didn't show up until they were fighting Ninja Red.
Well, I want to keep that as a surprise. Sorry you ruined it. But nonetheless, an arrow shoots in it. At first I thought it was Fire Candle. No, it is somebody who has the Hurricaneer ring. And
what ring?
Hurricaneer, because that's my favorite. The Kaku Ranger ring.
Well, see, okay, the arrow that's actually used in Kaku Ranger.
I know it's used, but Fire Candle shot an arrow into the restaurant before. So that's why I thought it was Fire Candle when he was going to fight Hoeru. I think it was. So that's why I thought it was Fire Candle. No, it is legit Sasuke, the original OG Ninja Red. And I think that's where I said Hurricane because of ninja. But it was beyond awesome.
That was awesome seeing, especially when he's like, he says that I'm here to get all the Rangers back their original rings. Or something like that.
The original Rangers. Yep. And we do see before this when Orga
I'm to test out you kids, basically, with the spirit of Sentai.
You dumbass kids. But you have before this, when they get the arrow and Kinjiro mentions Orga Red, you then have Kumade and Tega Sword talk about the Calamity War that last happened and how Orga Red has been there for a long time, that he's the original Ranger. And they don't mean like original first, they mean original, that alongside all of the Sentai teams, they all fought together on the past Calamity.
Well, yeah, because he says that all the different universes, all the Ranger teams from different universes came together to fight the Calamity.
And that Kumade and the like did all of this. So
once again, reiterating that every Sentai show is in its own universe.
Which doesn't make sense in a way because some of the Sentai universes...
Well, obviously, except for the ones that have specifically crossed.
But nonetheless...
like Kyojur and Kyoruger and Denjimon and Sun Vulcan.
Well, I thought the first two series were related as well because of Big One.
No, not really.
Oh, okay. But nonetheless, we get Sasuke. And Sasuke,
Kicks their asses.
beyond just like,
It was amazing.
the only time he had somewhat of a fight is when Kinjiro
Turned into
to
Rearranger.
Rearranger. And because everybody else was using more modern Sentai, like the oldest of the modern Sentai was at that time Maji Ranger.
No, Deca Ranger. Someone turned into Deca Red.
I thought Deca Red was when Hoeru was fighting Origami Red.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because you had Maji Red.
Yeah. No, Deca Red was fighting Origa Red. That was Hoeru.
Okay.
So no, the oldest for that scene fighting
Until
Sasuke
Rearranger.
until Rearranger, because he even makes a comment about, oh, Die Ranger, really? Because I did like Kinjiro's comment of, even though you're younger than me, I can't have somebody old like you kicking my ass, so to speak. And I'm like, oh my God. But he like wipes the floor with him. But this is where we get to a conflict when it comes to editing.
Okay, so no, this is before they transform. So when they first start fighting Sasuke, they're fighting him untransformed. They all run at him, and we see Shida Sumino run towards the screen, but when they all jump at him, it's not Suda Sumino we're seeing from the back up, because she has an entirely different hairstyle. We are seeing Maya's Sumino fighting him until she gets knocked away, and when the camera goes back onto her, it is Shida's Sumino.
And it's so bad because obviously I understand there's a lot of work that goes into editing. I've never edited anything myself. I've watched him, I've watched Silver Quill, and quite a few other people edit a product. So I know even for the most amateur, even for the most experienced, editing is a gut-wrenching, forever in a day process. I do not even think it's for the weak-minded. That's why I refuse to edit. But, and I actually did edit once because I edited the Death Parade opening to match with the Moon Pride Crystal opening song because they worked so well together, and then it got taken down for copyright.
Yep.
So, but I thought that was my only foray with editing, and even I hated that. So I know it's a lot of work, but to cheapen out, if you're gonna edit. And if you're not going to edit, don't edit. Now, to be fair, did it ruin my experience of the episode for that? No. Is it the end of the world?
The worst part for me of the episode was the King Ojuring.
Yeah. Did it make anything bad? No. Would anybody who is just watching it just for the enjoyment really care? Absolutely not. The only reason I noticed is because this asshat pauses everything and purposely rewinds to point it out. So would I have actually noticed and cared? No.
Well, no, I didn't. I paused and rewind because I was like, wait, was that Maya there and not Shida? So I went back and I'm like, yeah, that's not Shida's hairstyle.
In reality, nobody probably would have cared. And the only reason I care now is because he purposely had to go rewind and verify. And because of the laziness, I'm like...
Well, since we are reviewing these and I am doing a full review soon, I have to be fully critical of everything I see.
In reality, for you as an avid viewer just watching the episode.
And
Should you,
avid viewer.
whatever, should you care?
Yes, they should care.
But Sasuke, having an OG Ranger replay himself was beyond
That was
awesome.
awesome, especially when he's like, "Yes, I am the original user of this ring that this ring is based on."
I had excitement.
And then they had the Kaku Ranger music playing during the fight. They still did the visual sound effects when he was doing his attacks.
He had to have had fun, whoever was the suit actor playing him, because all the tricks that you would see for Kaku Ranger.
Well, it was clearly probably the suit actor that did him in
the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Because they even make a comment about 50. Because I think the actual actor is 50 or in his early 50s.
Something like that.
Or late 40s, I can't remember.
But yeah, that was hilarious. So yes, and watching Sasuke just kick their asses. Like even Kumade didn't even stand a chance against Sasuke. He just whooped them all good. And I'm like, yeah, that's why you're from the second best Sentai series.
The second best. Wow, that's a slap in the face.
The number 2 Sentai series.
He still kicked your favorite series, Red Ranger's ass.
Well, that's because Ryu Ranger was being worn by an 88-year-old man.
Okay, 57. Wow, he's 57. Teruaki Ogawa.
But yes, that was awesome. Just watching Sasuke whoop their ass with no effort whatsoever. He is just boom, 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 boom. Then he does the splitting technique where he splits into 5. Boom! And they're fighting.
Oh, I liked it when he got, like, you thought he actually got hit, and then it's just the suit.
Yeah.
And then he comes up behind
the
him.
substitution technique.
I was like, this is why I can't watch Naruto, because Kaku Ranger did it better.
Speaking of which, there's some new original comments. And then Origami Red and Goju Wolf were starting to fight after their little interaction with the kids.
That's where Deka came in.
And then they go flying. Wolf goes rolling from somewhere into the battle after the other Rangers have gotten their ass.
And then you find out that Origami Red
was the one that gave Sasuke the ring.
And then, as they're about to all fight, we get our newest calamity.
A new servant of calamity appears. What was it? Vikon the Pestilence. Not Pestilence. Pestilence is the movie. Vikon the
Famine,
yes. Vikon or Vikon.
Let me see if it gives me the actual name. Because apparently,
but yes.
Just so you know, if you go to Ranger Wiki for this episode, they absolutely love this episode because there is so much.
Oh no, that's every Sentai series from the last many, many years.
No, they're talking so much about Ninja Red in this episode, like line by line, everything Ninja Red does. It's like, okay, can we get to like a synopsis? This is supposed to be a synopsis of the episode, not literally sentence by sentence, every single thing Ninja Red does. So, am I here? Vidal, the famine. Oh, Vidal of hunger, Vidal
the famine.
of famine.
Yeah, Vidal the famine. Yeah, so, and it didn't click on me that the calamities were named because when the first time we saw them was the what's his name? Oh my god, Ray, the Ray stuff, and so I didn't click that he was War. And then when we were watching the movie, because the villain is based on Pestilence, which I thought I was like, oh, Pestilence. But I didn't actually click until we're watching this when he says he's of the famine. And I'm like, wait a minute. Pestilence? War? Oh shit, they're doing a 4 Horsemen theme. So now I gotta look at the designs because his design looks like his face has like a horse design in the helmet. So now I want to look at the other two to see if they had horse designs in their motif.
Well, real quick, I will say for Origami Red, because I was just looking this up, I now know why his voice sounded familiar.
Okay.
He was Ribut for Ultraman. You know, the mini episodes that we were watching?
Yeah.
I
still have to review that whole disc. I forgot all about that.
But can I just say he has the coolest name ever? Simba Tsuchiya. So he was born in 96. So if that's a stage name, one, that's awesome because he
Simba, you.
I'm like, if that's his actual name, you cannot tell me his parents weren't.
Didn't just watch The Lion King?
Yeah. Because I'm sorry, if Robin Williams didn't just finish The Legend of Zelda, his eldest child would never have been named Zelda.
But, so then he appears, and that's where our episode leaves off for next week, which looks like we're going to get Muteki Shogun showing up.
But, guess what we get for next week? More Sasuke!
Yes.
Probably for like 2 fucking minutes, but more Sasuke!
Oh my god, wouldn't it be annoying if he gets like sent to another dimension like in the first 2 minutes of the episode?
Don't go there.
That would be freaking annoying. But, so yes, Sasuke really did help make this episode worth it. Even with the annoying factor of just completely diminishing the whole King Oger Ring off-screen plotline. I feel like, hey, Taya, we still need to tie up your role in Gozyuger. Oh, no, I'm good. I don't want anything to do with that show at this point. Okay, we'll just have it written out. Like, if they had even filmed a flashback scene of Sutomi, whatever his name is, giving the ring to Origami Red, that could have worked. But now it was all done off screen. He's just telling us what was said. It was tell, not show. Which was a problem with Ryusoulger. But on that note, I did like this episode for the most part. It was the best episode we have had in quite some time.
Oh God, yes.
So, do you want to go through comments before we get to the movie?
Hold on 1 second. Just going through because it kind of reset.
The last comment was the one with Fire Candle. The, man, I think they're going to ruin Fire Candle.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So, Mr. Arrowverse, they just finally finished the original Naruto series and now on to Shippuden.
How'd you like that filler? Gotta love that filler.
Isn't that why they reset?
They had the joke is they had so much filler in the show, they had to change the name of the show to tell you they were done with the filler.
But is that true?
What?
That they had to stop the show because it got excessively filler?
No, that's the joke of why it's...
That's
the joke of... Well, its name was changed to Naruto Shippuden because it was when they were doing the time jump.
Oh!
So they changed the name of the show to signify the time jump, kind of like how Dragon Ball went to Dragon Ball Z. But it's just everyone makes the joke that Naruto had so much filler, they had to change the name of the show to tell you they were back to manga material.
Okay, and then Udis, hello Udis, makes a comment that Shippuden is good. And I've actually heard a lot of people that say Shippuden is better than the original Naruto universe because it develops the characters in different ways. Admittedly, I started watching Naruto back in the day when it first was on Toonami, but for me, it became a little repetitive after a while. And I know that's not the intent, but that's what it did for me. Like, my favorite character, can't remember his name, is the sand guy that has like short red hair, like a scar, I think.
Garen?
Maybe Gara.
Garak?
I don't know, but he was evil at that time. But I thought he was like the coolest.
He looks like the guy from Demon Slayer.
Yes. So does Gozyuger officially take place in the main Sentai universe?
Well, there is
Axel, I have no.
There is really no main Sentai universe. They're all their own universes.
Now, Kamen Rider 64. Now, here's a fun question, Kamen Rider. Why is there always conflicts between the riders? Because they don't know how to play well together.
Because they don't know how to communicate.
Generally, that is the case. And then Yuta says, oh, and hi, folks. Hope you're doing well. Kuperdate says, fire candles a general. We also see him show care for the IEs. He's the most human character in the entire show. It would have been funny if Lil Anyway can write. Yes. Because he is the most fleshed out character of the entirety of the show.
Oh, absolutely.
And the actor did such a fantastic job with him. I actually am curious to see other stuff this actor has done for him because he demonstrates he knows what he's doing.
Except for that one scene.
Well, yes, like I said, that's when he decided to quit the show. The only best thing that came out of Gozyuger was episode 44. Yes. And this is not to say there aren't things that I don't enjoy about Gozyuger because I love the murder mystery episode, shit like that. But seeing an OG Ranger reprise themselves as an OG Ranger is actually, admittedly, what I've hoped for the entirety of the show. Because I thought, not even knowing it was going to be canceled, but I thought being a 50th year anniversary, we were going to get more reprisals of OG Rangers reprising themselves somehow.
I guess the problem is, though, that would have made it too much like Go-Kaija.
And I understand, but it would have been nice to have it on occasion, just as like a swan song. If nothing else, having fucking not Big O, the main Red Ranger from the original series, if he's still with us.
That actually just made me realize that's another off-screen
ring they got, yeah.
Yeah.
For the first series, for Go Ranger.
Well, no, because Aka Ranger, Seki stole the ring from Hoyoru in the Clip Show episode and ran off with it. We never saw him get the ring back.
No.
But yet he had the ring in this episode when he was fighting Origami Red. So that's another ring that was retrieved off screen.
And then Kuperdate says, see, I told you the creation number 1 is just Lil Inoue's self-insert. It makes perfect sense. So Axel Tover asks, so who do you think was more pointless, the No Ones or the Universe Warriors? Yes.
Yes.
I honestly, I don't know which is more pointless because the Universe Warriors didn't have any purpose except for the one that was the Sentai fanboy. And the No Ones had no purpose either because we didn't get any resolution to why they even existed in the first place.
Well, and all those games amounted to nothing. Well, those competitions amounted to nothing at all.
So Eunice, for the Kamen Rider question, which kind of helps for this, is that I guess there's conflict between the writers because people believe that drama has to exist in every story. And that's fair. And that's actually a really good assessment.
Especially when you have 50 episodes to get through.
But the problem, and this is where I agree with your way of phrasing it, that they believe there has to be drama. Because sometimes I feel like a lot of the writer fights, and I'll actually read Kuperdate's, is manufactured. Like,
Gov made it work because...
Well, Gov didn't feel manufactured. Right now in Zets, it doesn't feel necessarily manufactured, only because Nox is against code, and Zets really has no clue what's going on. So at this moment, it doesn't feel manufactured. But like for Geats, even though I like Geats, there was an element of being manufactured. For...
Well, at least for Geats, they were playing a game that they were trying to be number 1 at.
0-1.
Yeah, that.
I love 0-1, but that was manufactured. Kubernete says writer dramas are dumb and annoying. Never like them. They try to mimic Shadow Moon and they fail more than they succeed. And that's a good point because Shadow Moon in Black, as much as I pick on him saying it's my least favorite Kamen Rider series, it's truly not. But that was never manufactured. They did, in my opinion, too little of it. But every time Shadow Moon came in, it was purposeful. Like there was a reason for it. And honestly, you could say that the same thing with Double. When Double had Axel come in, there was a reason why they had conflict at times because it was not manufactured. When you had it with trying to think, there's Gaim. As much as people fucking love Gaim, a lot of that when they brought in the soda riders, that was so manufactured. And once again, I know, pun intended, but it truthfully was more of a manufactured drama. And that is my problem, I will say, with certain Kamen Riders, is you can feel when it's going to make sense to the story to have this drama, and when it's going to feel like, oh my God, really? We're going to have this again? Then the A-Game said that I hated that they basically off-screened Susumi by doing a 180 on that character from episode 2. They were fully trying to make him plan on returning. Now they say, nah, gave up on the battle. What? Well, and that's exactly it.
He is the perfect allegory for the writing of this show.
Well, yeah, because he basically quit the show.
They had all this ambition at the start and then just gave up at the end.
Well, and Kamen 64 says Kaiju and Cruellica will return in Avengers Doomsday. Oh, I have thoughts on that, but I'll wait until the fucking movie comes out. Mobile C says, I love the origami design and Ninja Red guest appearance was a perfect icing on the cake. The A-Game says, I love the design for Origami Red, his roll call and everything. Absolutely. I thought it was fun. I thought it was really very spiritual, once again, of classic Sentai. Kubernete says, makes me wonder if Origami Red and Sasuke is the desperate attempt to appease the fans by trying to be smart and self-aware of their poor writing. Yes. Because this was already filmed. So obviously they could have done reshoots and stuff like that. But I really feel that is absolutely correct. That they probably didn't edit much in this because, yes, you are 1,000% correct. Maybe the actor who played O Red was like, show's too rotten, I'm out. And then Axel Tover, because that was Kubernete, Axel Tover says, God, the King Oger warrior has to be the most useless ranger since Murasami and Don Brothers. Yes. I love Don Brothers, but Murasami made no point.
He is the only stain on that show.
Udis shares that Origami Red is the perfect guy who gives the Red Ranger a reality check. There's no other Sentai leader as inspiring and thoughtful as him, which is true.
For Sasuke?
No, for Origami Red.
Okay. Well, okay, so one thing I also was going to say about Sasuke that I liked. The parallels, because Sasuke, when Kaku Ranger first started out, Sasuke and Saizo were
comic relief.
Were lazy. They didn't want to do anything outside of their comfort zone. They just wanted to make money as easily as possible and have a lazy, happy life.
Absolutely.
And then they grew, especially Sasuke, as the show went on, into a warrior always dedicated to the battle. And so having Sasuke be the one to go tell the Gozyugers off, like, you're not dedicated to this, you're a mess, you're blah, 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 I thought was a perfect parallel.
I didn't even think about that, but yes, you're right, because in the first episode, him and Saizo legit are trying to figure out how they can scheme their next job.
And so having it that he's the one to do this is just perfect to show the growth Sasuke has had across the years of Kaku Ranger.
Actually, that makes sense. That over the last 30 plus years, he has grown to be that secondary leader, because obviously he was never going to be the main leader, and to be the Red Ranger that is charismatic, that is showing that dedication. Wow, you are pretty philosophical right now. It's amazing.
Actually, I am curious. Who is the writer of that episode?
I
can pull it up if
you
don't want to lose your place.
Yeah, please don't make me lose my place again.
Because now I'm curious. Oh, Arakawa wrote that episode.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's why it makes it. Okay, yes. All right. And I actually did lose my place. God damn it. Okay, there we go.
Did you really?
Well, I found it. Okay, Thomas Proctor. I think Thomas was on earlier, but hello again, just in case. I remember reading Taya Actor wasn't originally going to be a universe warrior, and it was a last-minute ad by the studio, I believe. I think you had mentioned that.
I don't remember if I did or not.
Kubernetsa say, who knows, what if he walked to protest Maya Chan's firing? That could be entirely possible as well.
Which one?
Taya not being in the episode.
Well, no, it would have been filmed before then.
Oh, yeah,
because we did just have her in the scene.
That's true. Mason Kuntz. Hello, Mason. Says this show's been a mess. Arcana Master. Hello. Says this. Aren't you going to say hello?
Huh?
Mason and Arcana Master?
Hello.
And Arcana Master. Okay. Says, yes, this is what happens when you hire actors who have to film other shows during filming their show. You get characters written off being unavailable. It's true. And that's most likely what ended up happening, is that he appeared, and then because of conflicts, because he's a working actor, wasn't able to reprise his role.
But they have him back for the Versus movie.
But that doesn't mean he was able to reprise his time when they're filming that.
They could have made it work.
Then we have
it's just poor planning.
Axel says, well, even if King Oger's Universe Warrior and Gozyuger Wolf did have a fight, Howeru would curb stomp him.
He would win, but it's still the interaction of the anticipation all series long of seeing that occur to it not actually happen.
Oh, this is kind of interesting, and you'll have to confirm.
Okay, episode 2 of Gavan, since I started watching Gavan over last, they talk about Voicer, Gavan's dad. How would you feel if Gavan ended and he was never reunited with his dad?
Well, that would be pointless because he talked about him so damn much.
Exactly. That's what it felt like for this thing to not have the actual fight between King Kawata Oger and Hoeru.
Now, Kubernete made a comment here, which is pretty interesting. It's quite clear that little Inoue was trying to copy her dad's Ryuki. The result is a haphazard mess, which is her family's signature kind of mess anyways. Did he do Ryuki?
No, he didn't. He wrote some episodes of Ryuki, but he didn't do Ryuki. She's copying Dom Brothers because that's the only Sentai series she knows. Because she has said Dom Brothers is the only Sentai series she has ever watched.
So I have a comment on that. I feel that any toku writer, like if you're going to be a head writer of a show for a franchise, not to borrow homework or anything like that, but my philosophy is that you should at least take some time, not to maybe watch all the shows, but to at least get like a quick rundown.
Here's the thing. I don't think any writer needs to have seen a Super Sentai series before. Because the whole point is to create your own show.
Sure.
But she was writing the 50th anniversary series, which was supposed to encompass the entire franchise. when you're tasked with writing that type of show, you need to be immersed in what the other series have done, what the other series
Not
are like.
necessarily watching, but getting that rundown.
At least one episode from each series.
Now, I was hoping they would bring Susumi back as a final villain or something, like, and this is from the A Games, like maybe next to the Calamity. So stupid the route went with that.
Well, here's what it could have done. Episode 48 is the end of the Calamity.
Mm-hmm.
The only remaining ring is the King-Oger ring. Episode 49 is the confrontation between Hoeru and Susumi to show the character development Hoeru has built through the entire show.
Well, that could have been cool for an episode 49, being that
and
King-Oger was 48. Never mind.
But so the Calamities defeated 48. 49, I'm thinking of like Sailor Moon S, where they defeated the final villains in the episode before the finale. So Sailor Moon has her final battle with Neptune and Uranus, and there is one lone monster of the week left. So that it could turn out that there was still a no one or something left over that they just have a quick battle with after they have their whole thing. That Hoeru uses all the rings, or the King-Oger ring, to defeat this final monster. And that's how the series ends.
So Kubernete says, we can only hope, replying to the A Games, but seeing the level of intellect this writer has shown us, I agree the chance is bleak at best. Kubernete continues, the drawing has a 10-year-old power and looks more like a common writer. Good thing Toei made the suit look more like Sentai. And yes, it's done by a 10-year-old, so not to say that there aren't exceptional 10-year-old artists out there. I've seen exceptional work by many different age groups, but...
Oh, I have a Gal Red helmet picture that was drawn by a 10-year-old.
But I will say...
Where is
that? I think it's put away with some papers. But I will say, I really liked how Toei took the drawing and made it real life. Because I can only imagine for the kid how excited he had to have been to see his drawing real life. Now, Mobile C says, Sasuke was written very poor, but give credit to Teruyuki Ogawa that he did everything in his ability to make the poor version of Sasuke work. I actually felt the writing sucks. And now, Arakawa, I don't feel that changes much for me because I thought the actor...
Yeah, I thought all the scenes of Sasuke was great. I have no issue with that. That was the best part.
Even if it was Akiko who wrote the episode...
No, she didn't write
I know it was Arakawa. What I'm saying is, even if it was not him, I think Sasuke did a phenomenal job with what he was doing. Mm-hmm. Ogawa did a fantastic job. And do you think, Axel asked, do you think we're going to see Origami Red's human form? I don't believe so. I think they're probably going to keep him kind of like Aka Red, suited at all times. So essentially the human form could be anyone.
So, on the subject of Aka Red, apparently we're going to see soon Aka Red show up. The handoff is going to be to the new Gabon with all 50 Red Rangers, apparently. Supposedly, Akiba Red is going to show up in the Versus movie.
Seriously?
Supposedly.
I think they need to legitimize Akiba Ranger. But now, Kubernete says, if the kid got a cameo, maybe that half a kid is Luca, since Luca is not a Japanese name. Well, to be fair, it may be Luca, but it's pronounced Ruka. Like, maybe, because I have seen some younger Japanese kids having non-traditional names. Just like seeing some white kids or American kids, like American being all diversities and ethnicities.
Starscream.
Or white kids having, because I've seen, like, yeah, we had a random white kid named Starscream. We had I met.
What do you mean we?
Well, you.
In my classes,
yes.
Yes.
I actually met a little African American girl with I think her name was like Kamino or something, like a traditional Japanese name, because her parents were huge anime fans.
You have our teacher named her child Cora.
Mm-hmm. So everybody is kind of doing things a little bit more non-traditional. And I say white kids because some of the white kids are from predominantly white European countries. So I'm not trying to be racist. What if it's the O-Red actor himself?
For what?
For Origami Ranger.
Oh, that would be funny.
Now, the A-Game says, I sadly did wish that Origa was not a voice only, but an actual person with an unmorphed scene. Origami Red feels like that SPD Omega Ranger, that Ranger that had no physical body.
I was thinking the same thing.
Have I seen SPD?
No, we haven't watched it.
Oh, okay.
I was figuring after we watch Deca Ranger, we'll watch SPD.
Do you guys play mobile? Because if you do, I know that some pay extremely well. So I play some mobile games that do pay really well. Like, I've actually made hundreds of dollars off of playing mobile games, but I don't do it as a necessity. I do it when I'm in the mood to make some extra money for gift cards.
How would you make money playing mobile games?
You can. I have made over $100 playing mobile games, because I'll explain it to you. Heck, what if it's Marvelous's actor? That would be hilarious. I hope it's not Marvelous, but
you totally missed opportunity to say that would be Marvelous.
The A-Game says, I was surprised at what they did with Universe Warrior Ninja Red, not only getting the actor back, but also the character fully. Many people were surprised online too. I have no doubt, because we didn't really go online after this, so I don't know what everybody's feelings are about the episode. Gozyuger became.
Oh no, I did, because I posted screenshots of what the hell is this, with the comment of him just giving up the ring, and Sumino, like, what? I want the scene of Sumino's back, or Achita or Maya's back.
And then we have Yuta saying Gozyuger became Geo. It's all fan service now. And Sky to High saying Aka Red who? Yeah. Axel says, so the King Gozyuger Universe Warrior guy is just a guy who looks like Boon Red, but isn't actually him. The A-Game said, I did see online that the reason for why they had this Kaku Ranger ring be the last ring in the show was because it also happened to be the last ring
Bandai produced.
Oh, in real life.
Yeah, basically they said the rings were introduced in the order Bandai decided they were going to release the rings toy-wise.
I wonder why they made Kaku Ranger last.
That was just what they decided. No, there was no reason for it. It was just that was the one that happened to be produced last.
Aka Red in Sentai Now is the protagonist of the story before Go-Kaiger, where he, along with Marvelous and Bosco, went to the universe to find the Sentai rings. I think he was explaining Aka Red who.
Sentai rings or keys?
Keys.
Okay.
I said rings. It was keys. Mobile C says, I have a feeling they're going to Shurikenja route. They're going with the Shurikenja route for Orga Red, having veteran actors appear as human guises. Oh, Shurikenja or Shurikenja. I used to say Shurikenja for so long because, once again, I didn't understand how it was pronounced, but I love Hurricane. Axel says this episode is the closest thing we get to a Dai Ranger versus Kaku Ranger movie. I was waiting for it. That's why I paused, because I'm like,
I was like, wait, what? Oh, yeah.
The closest you ever get to see to Ryu Ranger fighting Ninja Red.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. The way it was.
Actually, I thought it was fitting that Kinjaro's actor was the one who did it. This episode, oh, I read that. Axel also says, it is bad that I sometimes forget Sumino is still in the show. Oh,
Because she's barely there. I was actually just reading that they didn't actually refilm all of her footage. They only refilmed.
your water, 'cause mine's up.
They only refilmed the important scenes of Sumino and just omitted her entirely from the rest of the series.
Which is even worse. Kubernetes says, maybe the scene went by too quickly. They didn't care for the weaves, just the toy sales. The Bandai rot is very real. And then they also say, but I agree, what I like about older Toku shows is that you can see they care, but these days, despite superior technology, the care seems to have significantly decreased. Which I will agree with. And that's admittedly the nature of when technology gets better, is that a lot of times it's not always a lack of care, but sometimes it is. It's more of a ease of doing things. Like, for example, I was looking online, just putting a story idea I had in my head in an AI generator, just for shits and giggles. And it offered to write the entire book for me. And I'm like, no, that defies the point of creativity. Now, this is not me saying I'm anti-AI, because there's value adds to it. It's me saying you have to know when to use it. And that's the challenge with newer technology as you get modern shows, is that with modern technology, you can make things happen easier, that sometimes you lose that interest for character development or analysis or anything like that. You want to continue reading?
Yes. If Naruto and Sakura were together, would Naruto be in an abusive relationship? No
Yes.
idea, but Sakura would never give him the time of day.
Well, she went with Sasuke, which that's a weird relationship.
Sentai became too big for its own good. Creating a Sentai series based on playing catch was when it jumped the shark.
Playing catch.
Trying to think. I don't remember right now. Let's see. Ninja Red suit actor was actually not the same as the one in the 30th anniversary special. Okay. Sentai was made for K2G3 kids anyway? What?
Probably that age range of like little to grade school.
Maybe. Oops. So to me, Sentai has to be fun. If it's not, it failed. Well, I'll disagree on that, because there have been other shows, Sentai series, that have proven you can be just as mature with deep storytelling as you are when it comes to appealing to children. Time Ranger.
Did that appeal to children?
Not toys-wise. It had the worst toys. Or, no. It had great toy sales, but not the greatest ratings. But it's still, I think that the filler was not good, but there was some filler arcs I liked, but in the middle of the filler arcs, I was just like, I'm going through this. I think they're talking about Naruto.
Yeah.
Let's see. What am I looking for? Man, I still can't believe this is the last Sentai for a while.
Who said that?
That one, Axel.
I agree.
So what was the most expensive Sentai series?
I will be getting into that stuff when I begin working on fully doing tokenomics. If you didn't see that comment that I put on the channel, I'm going to be releasing a new series going through tokenomics to talk about the cost of producing Sentai. The first episode, which he'll be releasing soon, is actually going to be on just the overall of Super Sentai and the cost of doing business today.
Yeah, that'll be released tomorrow.
It's not my greatest first episode. I wish I could re-record, but I
You can just let it go. In production, nothing is ever truly finished. You just have to let it go.
I'm not Elsa.
I don't even think episode 39 was even canon. That was the clip show one.
Mm-hmm.
Fire Kano has only been one other thing in just one episode. His actor has only been in one other thing for one episode.
Oh.
In Ryuki,
Well,
it was
he
a
does a
writer
good
war thing,
job
and the other
for-
series has just complicated many conflicts. Also, the clip show episode of Seki stealing the Go Ranger ring, that was an episode that had to make sense the OG episode.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a fake filler episode anyway, so it doesn't technically count.
Yeah, but then they shouldn't have had him steal the Go Ranger ring.
I know.
So they decided to make it a clip show episode and just ended it with a joke of Seki stealing the ring. They probably just didn't think to bring it back later because of another reshoot. But again, it means it was retrieved off screen. What be your synonym names?
Synonym?
Synonym names. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that.
Cinnamon?
Synonyms. Synonyms. Like
Oh.
the same. Synonyms.
Oh. I don't know.
Fun
People
fact.
call me anything with a K. You'd be amazed.
Fun fact. The Calamity that appeared is voiced by Ninja Blues actor.
Oh, really? Huh. Isn't that Saizo? No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Saizo. You would have thought Ishinomori Productions would have documented lying around with creation key points of each show for little Inoue to read up, or maybe they did and this is all she could do. So no Akiba Red Ring then. In Rama 1/2, if Rama and Akane were together, do you think the Rama would be in an abusive relationship? I don't know those characters.
Yes. Basically, anything Ranma is abusive.
I'm most likely not going to watch more than the first episode of the new Gavan, mainly because it seems it's just going to be Kamen Rider, but with Gavan suit. They look similar to each other. I will give it a shot if it's on Tokushoutsu. I don't know how many episodes I'll watch if it's on Tokushoutsu, but I won't go out of my way to download fan subs anytime soon for it, if it's not. What mobile games have you played?
Oh, God.
You play that Candy one a lot.
I've played Candy Crush. I think everybody except for you has played Candy Crush. I played Last Survival. I like playing a lot of the zombie games, which is funny because I can't play a survival horror game to save my goddamn life, but I can play a mobile one. I've tried the I tried the Final Fantasy one. I didn't like that one too much. I play a lot of the games. Like right now, I'm living for Monopoly Go, and I play a bingo game. Well, he calls it Monotony, but I love Monopoly. I also play Settlers of Catan on my phone.
Do you steal all the sheep there too?
No, they don't let me.
I'm thinking Cruellica makes money from playing games via those reward apps, so that you get gift cards or stuff like PayPal.
That's typically what I do.
My mom does the same thing.
It's obviously anybody who does it, it does not supplement your income, but it has given me a lot of gift cards where I'm able to buy random things that I need without spending my own money.
Thomas Proctor would have loved to have seen a Masked Man versus Flashman movie. Have one of the Flashman members revealed to have a family to one of the Masked Men. That would be kind of interesting. Did you know that Aaron Yeager is the voice of Take a Sword? Yes.
Oh, really?
I brought it up in my first review.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I watched Akiba Ranger Season 1. It's a million times better than this mess called Gozyuger.
Who said that?
Mobile. I
agree.
And the one who said Aaron Yeager was Dane Sakata.
Hi, Dane.
I don't think I saw them post anything beforehand. And then Kubernetes, for Game Infinity, I expect actor wild stunts and dimensional trippy horror. If not, I'd probably bail as well.
I hope a better actress than who we had in the original Gavan.
I don't think we're going to have a lot of really big stunts for out of suit action because they don't allow actors to do their own stunts anymore.
Like what Kenji Oba
Yeah,
and
what Oba and Watari for the first 2 Space Sheriff series did.
Watari stunts are amazing. Kenji Oba's are great too, but Watari, I'm still thinking of that film episode.
For Spielberg?
Mhm.
Yes. Watari is like just incredible.
Well, same thing with, was it Alice or Annie?
Oh, Annie.
Yeah, Annie's
Well,
stunt
Annie
work.
and what's her name in the girl from Sherivan as well.
Mhm.
She also had incredible stunt work, but Annie was the one where they gave a lot of screen time to her to shine. But I don't think we'll ever see that again because
Well, there's two. It's kind of like with
new laws won't allow that work.
Oh God, Chris Tucker and
Jackie Chan,
because Jackie Chan for years used to do his own stunts, and then they had to have him stop anytime he did it in American films because of the fact that American films did not have the same leeway as I think Chinese and Hong Kong did, and I think in Japan they probably have a little bit more structure now too.
Like I'm trying to remember who said that they do as many stunts as the studio will allow them, but there are stunts they would love to do. The studio tells them no.
Well, all I remember is listening to like some of the videos about older Sentai, like Jew Ranger, where he had to drop from like
from the roller coaster 30 feet into the boxes.
Yeah, and he's like, I've never practiced stunt work before, and this is my first acting job. And he's like, and his comment during the interview was like, well, at least if I got hurt or I died, they have enough time to recast me. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm trying to remember which Kamen Rider one it was for the interviews. Where I don't think it was Amazon. I think it might have been X. Where he said that he had to jump into boxes, and his boss was like, his stunt coordinator is like, no, you're gonna think about it a lot, but the moment you do it the first time, you're never gonna think about it again. So the moment you hit those boxes, you're gonna be like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Okay, what? And I'm thinking of the Doctor Who
with Toby, I think.
Yeah, Toby Hadoke, when he's with all the stunt actors from Doctor Who,
and he has to do this, and and you have this 80-year-old man who is retired technically from doing stunt work. Show him how it's done, and he just cavalier jumps into the boxes like his bones are not frailer than a fucking stick.
And then Toby's like, well, now I feel required to do it because an 80-year-old do it.
Yes, it's like, well, yeah, if an 80-year-old can do it, you can do it. And I'm like, fuck that. But in all honesty, we're not at the end yet for this series, but I will say my tentative final thought is...
Oh, I know, is that we have to go. We have 5 more weeks. I can't last 5 more weeks of this show. I just want it done. But okay, we need to get to the movie so we can wrap this up.
Oh, I just want to read this comment that Dane said. So during your Kaku Ranger review, Ken Kasugi shares the same birthday as my mom, Dana Sakata, 10/11/74. Well, one, happy belated birthday to your mom. The last comment.
Well, I'm trying to find it on where that comment is on here.
I have it here.
Oh, I see. Because we
did miss a couple of comments, but I saw that one and I thought that was really cool. So happy belated birthday to your mom.
Because the weirdest thing in Brazilian Sentai forums 20 years ago was the name once of Toei trying to Flashman 20 years later. Just got done watching episode 44. I really liked it, but I have a huge Kaku Ranger fan.
And that's from Paulies. Hi, Paulies!
Hello. And Udis for the previous one. I also like the Origami Red. I'd be very happy seeing that as the next Sentai. So your Kaku Ranger and Jake Schuster's here. You can do it, Kaiju! All right, but yeah, let's get to the movie before we get to Kamen Rider 64's comment. All right, where to start with this movie? First 2/3, I felt were crap.
So let me just preface this by saying one thing. I was watching the movie, And I tried to watch the movie, but the movie confused the fuck out of me. Like if you ask me right now what was the movie about,
Okay,
no
what was
idea.
the movie was about?
No clue. No earthly idea because the movie was so convoluted.
Okay, so in the movie, the pestilence
Okay.
calamity wakes up, which this is the first time they've actually fought a calamity.
Mhm.
The pestilence calamity wakes up, seals take a sword with a virus.
Yes, I
pestilence.
remember that. I remember that because I was like, does this have to relate to the episode where he was sick?
Yes, because remember when Ryuji thought had
Yes.
uh, take a sword was gone?
Uh-huh.
It flashed back to this movie.
Okay.
So Tegasword is being covered with a virus that has turned him stone cold or whatever. And Pestilence sends out grunts to
That looked like old
all the old grunts.
Because I thought that was cool.
He forces the Gozyugers to partake in a competition with the grunts, and the Gozyugers just beat these competitions with ease.
Which was really
there
weird.
was no effort whatsoever in winning these competitions. That I thought it was going to be a plot point. That the reason you won the competition so easily is because it was part of my trap to plan to trap you guys, and you have acquired just that. No, they won the competition with ease because the grunts just flat out suck at everything.
Well, I was kind of disappointed in that because I remember watching all of that and like thinking even the series they would lose at times.
And then they won everything with ease. Then you had that really bad screen rock climbing scene.
Yes.
Which I'm like, okay, I know the series had that really bad green screen moment with the Taj Mahal and Sumino being green screened into the sequence, but that was on a TV budget. This is a theatrical movie budget.
Well, that's like because they didn't even look like they were climbing a mountain.
And
they looked like they were just against a wall, like they literally were. But they didn't even look like they were climbing the wall. Because sometimes you'll do green screen where you'll have the rock climbing aspect, and then they just paint over it. But it looks like they're just holding
and
the wall.
Water being clearly CGI'd into there. That was atrocious. So I'm like, my God, this show, that's a movie budget. What the hell? But yeah, so they then get captured. They get tied up. They don't get crucified for some reason. You think being that the villain is a four horseman, they would have done the crucifixion type of being chained up sequence. But no, whatever. So and then at the same time, for some reason, Kumade is just sitting in the cafe.
No, he doesn't even fight.
No, he's just sitting there
as a fortune teller.
Yeah, that people have to pay 10,000 yen for.
10 million.
10 million. And that's his entire purpose. And there's like these three ladies there that are wanting to pay him, and this younger guy that's like, are you crazy? You're going to actually pay him?
Yeah, he was just literally sitting
in the
throne.
It was, he told them they were 10,000 yen short. So they had to go and scrounge some money up. Well, so then our pestilence guy has the other Gozyugers captured and is changing the lore of Tegasword to fit his narrative. And
you have the villains also now, because you had all the Bride-on people going to help too.
Yeah, so they decide they have to go help. But so the Gozyugers break free because they reveal that you are looking at Tegasword's wishes the wrong way. It's not... Everyone is supposed to be selfish for their wishes because that's why they're their wishes.
And they get their rings back, and then everybody gets a red ranger ring. No, because I thought that was immediately next.
No, that's not yet. So everyone's going through. The Gozyugers are fighting, protecting people, fighting the grunts. The Bryons are fighting to protect the people, but no, and they all start spouting various wishes. The one wish I thought was brilliant was Kinjiro is fighting a Mega Rappa from Hurricaneger. And he says, I'm going to wish for a hamster. And I thought that was brilliant, him wishing for a hamster as he's fighting a Hurricaneger villain, being that's what the master had turned into. So I thought that was actually really well done. But yes, so we have this, which this is what saved the movie for me, was that Tegasword grants everybody in the world a Red Ranger ring, the multiples of the same ring over, so that everyone can be a Red Ranger. You're a Red Ranger. You're a Red Ranger. Everyone's a Red Ranger. So you get a ring. You get a ring. Everybody gets a ring. And I thought that was freaking awesome because we get to see all what?
The cat toy is haunted.
That always happens.
Ren's usually the one who turns it on.
No, sometimes it just turns on automatically. But so I really liked the sequence of everyone becoming a Red Ranger. I thought it was really well choreographed, well shot. Then we have the mech battle. Oh, and
because you also had some people who were previously in the series, like the mayor.
Yes, who became Don Momotaro again. No, the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister, yes.
But then you have a mech battle. But I loved how the Red Rangers, they all give their powers away, and it comes in a final wave attack.
I thought that was fucking hilarious.
So
I was like, wrong show.
And that's how the movie basically ends, is all Reds.
But I loved how it was a final wave. I'm like, this is the wrong show.
And I love that they had Seki doing it. Or they just took the line from one of the previous episodes. But that, for me, that sequence with the Red Rangers saved the movie. Now, this was the first time.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
It was terrible.
It wasn't great, but that saved the movie for me. The Calamity was an interesting villain, but it's kind of weird that they made the first Calamity be a movie villain.
Oh yeah, if you think about it.
Because they're supposed to be, because they're the main threat of the show, so one of them is movie-based.
Yeah, because we didn't get the Calamity until weeks later in the series.
Yeah, because that's what Ray, who was part of Ray, was the War Calamity. Which, Ray, are we ever going to see him again? Are we ever going to see Oto again? Or is Oto going to wake up off screen?
Yes.
And we're going to be told, yeah, Oto woke up, everyone. Cool.
Yes. Well, that's even if they remember to highlight that.
But, yeah. Overall, we are nearly done with the number one worst Sentai.
That's why it's called number one.
5 more weeks. 5 long, excruciating weeks.
So middle of February.
Yes. The problem is I don't know if I want to wait to watch all 5 episodes at one time. I kind of want to just still do them in maybe a 3 or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll still do 2 more live streams on Gozyuger. It's just getting there. That's the problem.
Well, with that, I know there's probably still comments in the chat, so I apologize.
Let's finish those up so we can finish off here because it is
Jake
after 2:30.
Schuster says you can do it. You can power on through. Kamara 64 says, hopefully there is a program or something that helps fight against and deals with SA and harassment. There are a lot of programs that help with those types of things. The problem is, I'm just going to be very blunt about it. When it happens to guys, they don't feel comfortable talking about it because they feel it's a failing on their part because men are supposed to be technically stronger than women. When it happens to women, they feel hesitant even coming forward on it because many times they don't believe they'll be believed about it. And so it's a very terrible catch-22. So there's a lot of programs, a lot of support groups, and different things on it. But our comfort level as a culture to talk about SA and harassment in America specifically, I don't know about the rest of the world, so I don't want to speak to that. But in America, is terrible. And I think it is in Japan as well, just based on Amuro's voice actor getting away with it for so long. So there's this cultural stigma for both primary genders and all the genders in between on how they're treated with regards to SA or any type of harassment. And we as a modern culture need to be much better about it, of believing people when they say they feel uncomfortable, believing people when they say they've been feeling harassed.
But on the offhand, there are also those people that just say that because when the person had good intentions and didn't realize they were making them feel uncomfortable.
Well, but that's why somebody should be willing to speak up. Like, if you feel uncomfortable, let's say for a man, woman, or anybody, non-binary, whomever you are, if you're in a situation where you feel uncomfortable, feel free to first tell the person that is doing it that you feel uncomfortable. Maybe they don't know they're doing something that makes you uncomfortable. Because I am a hugger. I love to hug people. But I have to now think about it of asking people, are you a hugger? Because not everyone wants to be touched. And some people do feel it is very uncomfortable. I think that's a thing where we need to be better, and we need to share that there are programs out there. Be willing to listen. Be willing to listen to those people that could potentially be incorrect, because some of those people who are incorrect, I'm not saying the ones that are lying, because there are sadly people out there who have ill intent, but the people who may have misinterpreted a situation, believe them as well, because it is their right to have those feelings. And they should be willing to say, I don't feel comfortable. I would rather have people share their feelings than not. And it doesn't matter who you are. And if you can have a discussion with the person who's doing it in a very open manner, do so. If you feel uncomfortable, don't hide it. Still have that conversation with someone. It's a very difficult. I've gone through experiences where I've been harassed and nearly assaulted. So I understand the fear and the stigma that comes with it. Because I didn't say anything until years later. So I understand where they're coming from, because I was that big mouthed girl. And because I did things already, like I've shared in prior videos with addiction and things, that people weren't going to take my account as true because it could be a fiction of my imagination. So I know.
So let's see. I haven't watched the movie yet because the mainline show is messy as is. I had the impression it would be just messier.
Yes.
Sakata, also during your King Oja review, fun fact, Taisei Sakai was born 2 days after me.
Really? Wow.
4/1/98.
Wow. You were born 2 months before I graduated high school.
Classic modern common writer, sloppy mess then.
Yes.
Damn, I thought Gozyuger gets to finish early so we can just get to Gavon. I wish. Nice shirt, Kaiju. You should do a video. The whole thing is in a serious talk video.
Oh, if you could get away with doing a full video that's serious talk, I'd be amazed.
Let me talk to you right now about how
you'd have to do it like the Dare program, set you straight type of thing.
I don't think I actually can do a full serious video.
Oh, I
because
know you can't.
Being totally serious would not work with my
With
personality.
you? No.
Because I am.
You are bombastic.
Granted, I am a very serious person, but I don't like to be a very serious person.
You're a serious person?
Yes, actually, I am. I just don't like to be because it's not as fun.
I've been with you for 25 years. You are not. You have your serious moments, but you're not an overly serious person. Of the two of us, I'm a more serious person.
But a serious talk video would be where I'm just doing serious talk.
Oh my God.
Because even my Let's Talks, I can't be totally serious.
No.
That's just not my persona because it'd be very, very boring. I would have to talk like this the entire time.
Okay, moving on.
All right. Someone who lived in the U.S. for SA, men don't want to report it because they get shamed upon and just let it out slide.
It's true. It's
and women could just lie about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, there have been documented cases of women lying. There's been many cases after the fact of men who have come forward and said something and they're laughed out of there. I've read a story, I can't remember the names, but there was a 6'3" man being physically abused by his wife, who was 5'2", because if he swiped his hand at her, he would have hurt her significantly. So he took the abuse. And it's terrible to think that that happens.
And then on the opposite side, even sometimes if a woman says they did lie, the damage is still done and the male still has that stigma.
Absolutely.
Like, look at Johnny Depp.
I believe they're both guilty of different things. I don't believe it's to the guilt of what she stated, but he's not innocent by any means.
He's not innocent either, but his reputation was tarnished because of what she made up.
I know.
Whereas her reputation was not for many, many years.
Oh, now hers is in the hole too.
Which she deserves.
Not that he doesn't deserve it either, but...
Sonic says, that's no good. From the PSA I used in one of my review videos.
Yes, I remember those. Oh my Lord. But at the end of the day, take care of yourself.
The show should have just stuck to doing anniversary-themed episodes, like what they did with Kaku Ranger, along with episodes, the Die Ranger, the Lupot, the Gal Ranger.
I even thought the Showa era episode was just a good, even though it had nothing to do with like actual characters, just being a Showa type-esque episode, I thought was helpful.
This is the problem I have, that even Go-Kaiger ran into. Outside of the Live Man episode, Go-Kaiger never really had a Showa series focused episode. No. Live Man is the only one I can think of that was truly a Showa tribute episode. Go-Kaiger...
They actually had a lot of tribute for Car Ranger.
Gozyuger. I can't think of a single episode for the teams themselves that, again, were Showa team anniversary episodes. We had the Kaku Ranger one here. But I can't think of anything before Die Ranger. But I can't think of anything before then. I mean, they did a little thing with Jetman, but they didn't really do Jetman. But again, that's Heisei. I can't think of anything before Jetman that they've done that was a tribute episode.
Well, I think the challenge with it is the further and further you get away from an era, the less the people who are supporting or writing the show really understand that era.
But if
okay, even with as much as you've watched, do you truly understand the era of Showa? Even with as much as you watch. Okay, let me take it.
What do you mean by era of Showa?
All right, let me get away from Showa. If you were to write an episode for anything Do you understand how to truly represent the 40s and 50s for film noir?
Maybe. I wouldn't know till I'm writing it.
Okay, when it comes to Showa, knowing that this is in between World War II and
Well,
post-war.
I'm talking about tribute episodes. You can watch episodes from older series and know how to write an episode surrounding the tropes of the older series.
Okay, that's fair. But sometimes the challenge that comes with it is even if you've watched something like, okay, Doctor Who is an example. That goes through, if we're going to take Japanese eras with it, because it's all Victorian.
Okay, for example, Changeman had a villain. One of the villains in Changeman who survived had a wife and child. There could have been a tribute episode that had that villain's child coming to Earth, and they did stuff with him as a tribute to Changeman.
Okay. Oh, I see. And for this question, do you guys know from Commodore 64, do you know what happens when you defy a restraining order? So if you just defy a restraining order, it depends on if the person calls it in and reports it to the police. But most states, it's an automatic prison time that you get thrown in jail because you're violating, not you, but I'm saying you as in a general thing, not you, Commodore 64. But if you violate a restraining order, you can be arrested and they can hold you in contempt of a restraining order, and other things may come up from it. The only reason I'm keeping it kind of vague is because sometimes it can vary state to state. Sometimes it can vary based on what the restraining order is. And so it can be very broad. But I would say if you have somebody who has violated a restraining order against you or a family member, I would definitely make sure to contact the police as quickly as possible. And I would make sure to have it documented, like as much, like was it in a public place? Was it at a private setting? Things like that. Because that's highly concerning. My mom we had a restraining order against somebody when I was younger.
Yeah, obviously.
But for our particular situation, he was thrown in jail and we went to court and he stayed in jail. But each situation can be very different because if it's a public place, it could have been an accidental violation, like not knowing the distance or anything like that. Because you can have them 50 feet, you can have them no contact, you can have them 500 feet, so many different ways. And he's never dealt with any of this, so he's completely lost. I also went to law school, so I understand basics too.
On that note,
yes,
that depressing note.
It's not a depressing note. That's an important thing that everybody needs to be aware of. Be safe and take care of yourselves.
Okay.
What happens if you run into the person by accident in a public place? You run into the person by accident, I would say
walk the other way.
Yes. If you see the person in public that there's let's say it is you with a restraining order. I don't know, and that's none of my business. And there's always different circumstances for it. Sometimes it's even for your own safety. I would say if you see them in a public place, turn around, walk away. If it's a person with the restraining order still continuing to follow you, that's when I would find a public place like a coffee shop, a restaurant, a store, and I would call the police. And don't leave until the police arrive. Never put yourself in this situation because sometimes it can be accidental, completely unintentional, and sometimes it can be with ill intent. But knowing that that's a situation that can be very terrifying for whomever's involved, I would say if it's somebody you know that has a restraining order against them and they did not mean to, I would just make sure that they take themselves out of that situation as quickly as possible. And if it's a family member who has a restraining order against them, I would make sure that they keep themselves safe at the same time.
All right.
Yeah, people can get restraining orders for any reason out there. Truthfully, it can be for absolutely nothing at all, but it has to have some sort of legitimation that the police justify for getting a restraining order. So even if it could be a complete misunderstanding, since it has to go through the police department, the person has to give reasonable cause to request it. So even if it's a misunderstanding, it still can exist. But if you do have one on U64, I would make sure, even if it's a misunderstanding, take yourself out of that situation. And if you do need to speak to that person that has it against you to get it removed or resolved for whatever it's against, try to go through legal channels. Do not try to put yourself in a situation where, if it's you, like I said, and there's no shame if it is you, because there's a lot of reasons for anything and everything. Go through legal channels if you need to resolve something so that you protect yourself and don't get yourself put in a situation where they can say you're harassing them, even if that's not the intent. But with that, I will say, everyone, take care of yourselves and just be happy. 2025 is gone. It's not forgotten, but it's gone. And we will see you on the next video or next episode.
So as always, click like, subscribe, the bell notification. Whatever else YouTubers are clicking on support us. You can support us on Patreon, Bluesky, at Toku AAN Network, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, at Kaijin Okami, my website, creativitybydesignllc.com. There are some links in the description below for GoFundMes, one for health purposes, one to help the channel stay alive another 10 years, that I'm probably just going to get rid of soon, or at least do a brand new one, a fresh one with some new ideas. And that's all I've got, really, until the next one, which will either be Ultraman Omega.
Well, I might do a live stream during the week or something.
Well, I mean for Toku ones.
Oh, okay.
It'll probably be Omega when Omega's last 2 episodes air.
Oh, it sounded terrible when I said, I might do one if I'm bored. And not if I'm bored, if I have time.
But, all right. So, as always, you know what's good. Until next time. Bye.